Have you ever felt utterly overwhelmed by the size of the need around you? A challenge so big, a problem so deep that your resources seem like a joke. Today we turn to one of the most famous miracles in the Gospels, found in Mark chapter 6, to discover a profound truth. In the hands of Jesus, your small offering is always the start of an impossible abundance. The chapter begins with the apostles returning to Jesus, exhausted yet exhilarated from their mission. Jesus, seeing their weariness in the endless crowds, tells them, "Come thee yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while." A moment of quiet retreat was their plan. But the crowds, desperate for a word of life, ran ahead and met them. And look at Jesus' reaction in verse 34. He saw much people and was moved with compassion toward them, because they were as sheep not having a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. This is the heart of the story: compassion. Jesus saw their spiritual hunger first, but soon their physical hunger would demand attention. As the day faded, the disciples approached Jesus with a very sensible, practical solution. This is a desert place, and now the time is far past. Send them away. Their solution was to defer the problem, to pass the responsibility back to the people. But Jesus turns their human logic on its head with a radical command: give them to eat. The disciples are stunned. Give them to eat? It would take 200 pennyworth, nearly a year's wage, to feed this many people. Here is the first lesson. When God calls you to a task, it will always exceed your resources. The gap between the need and your ability is where faith begins. Jesus asks the vital question that cuts through all their worry: how many loaves have there? Go and see. They return with a pathetic total for a crowd of thousands: 5 and 2 fishes. The miracle is not that Jesus didn't need anything. The miracle is that he chose to use what they had. He could have conjured food out of thin air, but he honored their meager offering. He then commanded them to seat the massive crowd by companies upon the green grass, in ranks, by hundreds and by 50s. Even in the midst of a spectacular miracle, there is order and dignity. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, looked up to heaven, and blessed the simple meal. What follows is the manifestation of divine power. He broke the bread, and it kept coming. They did all eat and were filled. The word used here means satisfied, totally filled up. This wasn't just enough to survive, it was abundance. And the final, undeniable proof of the miracle. They gathered the leftovers, not scraps, but fragments enough to fill 12 baskets. 1 basket for each disciple, perhaps as a personal, tangible reminder that the Master can take their small efforts and multiply them into overwhelming provision. The crowd fed was about 5,000 men. What is the profound spiritual and educational takeaway for us today? It's this: the miracle is not reserved for the resourceful, but for the yielded. We all have 5 loaves and 2 fishes in our lives, a limited talent, a small savings, a few hours of time, a weary heart. When we look at the world's need for kindness, for justice, for salvation, we think, send them away. But Jesus says to you today, give them to eat. Bring your little to him. Let him bless it, break it, and distribute it. Trust that your scarcity, when placed in his all-sufficient hands, will always result in the miracle of more. Go and feed the world with what you have. Amen. Thank you for watching. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content.